Let's fight. Let's fight. A very good evening to each and every one of you. And I hope that you guys are ready to fight, guys. Wherever you're joining us from this evening, at home in Guyana, in the diaspora, whether that's the Caribbean or internationally, we welcome each and every one of you in the ring. And guys, as you come on, we invite you all to share the live stream. We are going to share it a couple places as well. And then we're going to get set to get going. Good to see all of you here, fired up and ready to go. Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. Good to see all of you. Wherever you're joining us from this evening, we welcome you in the ring. We're so privileged and happy that each and every one of you are with us this evening. We couldn't ask for more, folks. We could not ask for more. And so we're going to ask you guys to share that live stream, tag a friend of me, and let's get going. Tag a friend of me, tag the PPP, tag the Nakovakamites, tag the Jagabats, tag each and every one of them, folks. All right, let me turn this down. I'm trying to share some places, and inadvertently turning up the volume as well. Good to see all of you. So many of you joining us already, folks. So many of you joining us already. And we got so much information to share with you, or as Sukai would say, so many information. And you're going to understand why later on with that Sukai bit there, because Sukai out of control. But we're going to bring her back in control. Miss Allion, we're going to bring her back in control, folks. Good to see all of you. Share the live stream. Waiting for you guys to get us to that number so we can start. It's all dependent on you guys. It's all dependent on you guys. Good to see you guys wherever you're joining us from this evening. Let me know where you guys are picking us up from. Michelle Lampkin and Carla Washington and Marcia Griffith, Sharon Griffith, Sylvia Allen, all of you folks. And you guys know I come to your profiles and I check to see if you all share. Good. And sometimes I leave a comment or two. Sometimes I just leave an emoji. So grateful for all of you for sharing the live stream, guys. So grateful. All right, let me make sure that I am good at my end, which means I just want to ensure that I'm sharing to all the right places and all the right people. Good to see so many of you, including Robin Noreen. I'm checking my phone at this end, and Gwyneth Jones and Osman Hope. Each and every one of you guys, we're really happy that you guys have joined us this evening. Really happy. Yep. Good to see so many of you already on the live. Good to see so many of you. We couldn't ask for more, folks. Couldn't ask for more at all. So welcome. Waiting to get to that magic number. The technician says that we are well. Our editor says that we're looking good. And all that matters now is you. Well, the technician said, you know that we're good. He got and sleep. So we're watching to see how that goes. If we got to wake up, we got to wake up. That's it. What I can tell you. Sorry, I ain't sorry. Good to have all of you on board with us this evening, guys. It's Talk Back Thursday. So get ready to come and have your say as well. Right? Get ready to have your say as well, guys. Again, good to have all of you here this evening. Share the live stream. I'm going to bother you all whole night with sharing. Nothing is free, folks. Anything you're getting for free is problems. Anything you're getting for free, you got to be very concerned about that. Very concerned about that. Nothing is for free, folks. All right, I done talk. Nothing is for free. I am almost ready. Valerie Mariah up in the hizzer. That's old school. If you don't understand it, well, you're too young. You might be in the wrong place, but stay. You might learn something tonight. All right. I'm watching all of the comments. I'm trying not to be this distracted. I'm watching all of the comments as they come in. All right. Watching all of your comments as they come in. Valerie and Audrey. Hazeline, I see you there, Hazeline. I see you there. Comment on your profile and check Hazeline. Understand that? Colleen Isaacs, good to see you as well. Good to see all you lovely folks. Raul Ramatar, good to see you, Raul. Good to see you there. Oh, yes, I see Alston Marks watching us from Barbados. Good to have Alston as well. Good to have all of you guys on the live stream. Good to have all of you guys on the live stream. Couldn't ask for more right now. Honestly, couldn't ask for more, folks. So welcome in the ring. All right. I think I'm ready to go. Let me see if I'm ready, or I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready. All right. Guys, get us to that magic number. Let's go. Share the live stream so that we can get to that magic number, folks. Share the live stream. Share the live stream, folks. Good to see all of you. Good to see all of you. Actually looking for a post to pin, but the post has remained elusive. The post has remained elusive. Looking for a post to pin a post. Guys, welcome to the ring again, and I am ready to go with the hot topics. Ready to get you into the hot topics. So click that emoji, folks. Click some likes, click some shares, click that emoji. We're ready to go. Good to see you, Shondell, Longcan, Paul. Is it Danjo or Danju? Good to see you, Paul. Ingrid King. Good to see you, Ingrid. Rosary Rose Jeff. Good to see you as well. I'm ready to get going, folks. I'm looking down at my phone. I'm looking at the screen, making sure all of my notes are in place. Good to have you guys with us. Good to have you guys with us. All right. Let me bring my notes closer. Maybe not. Maybe leave it right here. Good to have you guys with us. All right. Good to have you guys with us. Good to have each and every one of you with us tonight. Guys, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? I'm ready, guys. I'm ready. And I hope you guys are ready as well. Let's get ready. Let's get ready to rumble. Some people come and they say, oh, Lord, what are you doing tonight? What are you saying tonight? Good to see Sukchan Sudhari. Good to see you, Sukchan. Sukchan, you fine, Ali? Guys, you all fine, Ali? Or will you find Ali? Well, Ali, turn up. We'll talk all about that. Ali, turn up. Folks, share the live stream. I'd be so grateful. I'd be so grateful if we share the live stream. So grateful. I am ready to get going. Folks, in some international news, why don't we start here? In some international news, international news. I think we need to start there. In some international news. So again, guys, welcome in the ring. Make sure I'm good. Good to have each and every one of you with us once more. Again, we got to share this live stream, whether you're joining us on Twitter, retweet, Facebook, share, YouTube. You got to subscribe and you got to follow our page as well. Click that follow button and see great things happen. Click the follow button, folks. Click the follow button. Click the follow button. Great to have all of you guys with us this evening. And we turn our attention now to some international news because it is the US officials versus the installed PPP, because several US officials have expressed concern about what is happening in Guyana, beginning with the highest ranking, who would be Miss Victoria. Let me make sure I have her name correctly. It's in my notes, folks, and I don't want to call anybody wrong name. Give me 1 second. Yeah, it's Victoria Nuland, and she's the U.S. Undersecretary of State, followed by Chairman of the U.S. Congressional Subcommittee on the Western Hemisphere, and he is Mr. Albio Ceres. And then we have Congressman Hank Johnson. Mr. Johnson is a member of the Caribbean Caucus, and they have all expressed very, very grave concerns about what is happening here as it regards to governance, also where sharing of our wealth is concerned, and among other issues. You would remember, guys, if you have been following If you have been following, it was Miss Newland, Victoria Newland, the U.S. on the Secretary of State, who met with Todd recently, had a virtual meeting with him, and expressed concern about governance and the political atmosphere in the country and all of that. And the installed administration was very, very tight-lipped about that. And then the U.S. Embassy gives some more details about the meeting, and that was followed by some comments by Mr. Albino Sachs, Mr. Albio Sachs, sorry, Albio Series or Ceres, and then Mr. Congressman Hank Johnson also followed up with some comments of his own, and I wanna give you some of that this evening, because the U.S. is now expressing grave concerns about, again, what is happening here in Ghana. And guys, we want as many persons to benefit from this information as possible. And I always say that I have a duty to gather the information for you as valid and as credible as can be, because we only want valid viewers and we only want credible comments. And you have a duty to share the live stream and to tag a friend, to click that emoji, whether you like what's happening, whether you love it, whether you want to show that you care, whether you want to bust out a big laugh, whether you're sad, whether you're angry, but click one of those emojis and give us a share, give us a retweet, subscribe, follow our pages, folks. So the guys are expressing some grave concern. And again, this is Albio Series, Hank Johnson, and on the Secretary of State for the U.S., Miss Victoria Newland. And let me tell you some of what they have been saying. So, for instance, Mr. Albio Series, very strong comments, some very strong comments as of recent, very strong comments, right? And I'm going to quote some of that for you because it's quite interesting, and to show you how the government is now on the back foot, where these comments, and it tells us where the American government, or what the American government is thinking. So Hank Johnson quite recently, or rather Mr. Series, reiterated that the U.S. wants to hold talk with the PPPC-led administration and the opposition coalition, a partnership for national unity, among other stakeholders. Good. And he expressed the concern that the proceeds of oil revenue should benefit the entire population. Now, why would they be saying that? Now, if you got, for instance, flood hampers being given out in some places, big bag of goods, right? Big bag of goods. And then in some other places, is a little bag of rice alone. You could understand why they would be saying that the oil wealth and the revenues of this country should benefit the entire population. Quite interesting. Congressman Johnson, Hank Johnson, stated also, he said it is important that every person affected by this disaster, the flood, the pandemic, by this disaster, is able to receive support, is able to receive the support they need to rebuild their lives in the shortest possible time. Now, these comment folks do not argue well at all for the installed PPP, and they now get they now have gotten the insight that the American government is looking very closely at their wicked and malicious dealings, right? Again, Mr. Johnson said that Guyana's wealth is for all, and I'm quoting him, Guyana's wealth is for all the people of Guyana, irrespective of their ethnicity. He went on to say, I urge the current government and leaders of the opposition in the National Assembly to work together towards strengthening Guyana's democracy and building an inclusive nation. Imagine that. Mr. Johnson went on also to state that more than 1 month after the floods, several parts of Guyana, he says, are still in need of aid and so forth. So the Americans have now waded into our national politics and are looking with a fine-teeth comb forensically at what the PPP administration they are doing. And so Gail trying to save face, the Jagabats trying to save face, came out with a press conference, talking a whole set of nonsense, Now, listen to some of the nonsense Gail is saying, because we hate and we stupid, right? Albio series, Congressman Albio series, Congressman Hank Johnson, and then the U.S. on the Secretary of State, Miss Victoria Nuland, all talking the same language: governance, sharing the national patrimony, sharing the national wealth. Tells you again how the U.S. is thinking. So here is Gail. Gail says that the installed PPP believed in parliamentary and participatory democracy in keeping with Guyana's constitution as reflected in poverty reduction housing nonsense, the delivery of potable water, delivery of potable water, and the electrification of rural and interior areas. Blackout for so. Just today I had but 5 periods of blackout. Electrification, lies, and more lies. She says that her government, here nonsense. Her government was committed to engaging the opposition after it recognizes the legitimacy of her administration. Oh, Father, after. She said they will engage us. They are adamant. They are resisting the U.S., pushing them to sit down and talk and to work constructively with the opposition. So she's saying here that her installed government was committed to engaging the opposition after it recognizes the legitimacy of their installed administration. That's what the Jagabat's saying, right? Y'all hear madness like this? She went on, here, Baduman Teixeira from Border Market. We won't be bullied. I don't know if she's talking to the Americans there. We won't be bullied. I guess she's talking to Cerise or Johnson or Newland, right? Congressman Johnson, we won't be bullied. Congressman Cerise, we won't be bullied. On the Secretary Newland, we won't be bullied, right? We won't be bullied. That's according to her. She said that they are looking for a mature political position. Again, after recognizing the PPPC as a legitimate government of our country, then opportunities for dialogue on a number of issues will become open. And so we wish to assure our friends in the United States we are committed. So as long as we don't recognize them as a legitimate government, well, y'all illegal. And that is how y'all are treating Guyanese, the PPP, the Jagabats, the Nakavakamites, with the same kind of madness. You got to recognize us. You got to bow down, or else you can't get a little hamper. You can't get cash grant. You can't get COVID cash grant. It's the same way they are approaching. It's the same way they are approaching governance. Well, there will be a reckoning. PPPC, mark our words. There will be a reckoning. And we hope that you're all able. We hope that you're all able with the reckoning. We promise you, there will be a reckoning. That is what we are promising you guys this evening. There'll be a reckoning. And we hope you're all able, right? You know, we say, people don't dare when first bell ring. People don't dare when first bell ring. It's when second bell ring, then everybody is land. It's when second bell ring, everybody's land. But we're watching the Jagabats. Teixeira again was on the back foot on this issue. This one Tad, who should not even be Foreign Affairs Minister, should not even be a minister, period. Should be nowhere close to government. And then the other installed one, Jagdeo, right? They're catching cold sweat now, folks. They're catching cold sweat because the Americans are watching them. And they know what happened the last time the Americans were watching them in this manner. They know what happened the last time the Americans were watching them in this manner. But the Americans are waiting. They're waiting 5 years. right? We're 9 months in, 10 months in, and look at the kind of concerns that the Americans are registering. So I could imagine how Sarah's shaking in she boots, because I'm certain it's not Sarah filing reports that producing this. It's the people seeing with their own eyes, Hank Johnson seeing with his own eyes, Albio Sires seeing with his own eyes, Victoria Nuland, U.S. Undersecretary, seeing with her own eyes, and that is what is producing this kind of pushback against the Jagabats, Jack Dio, Teixeira, and this other clown, this house slave, Mr. Tal, right? This house slave, Mr. Tal. We are not recognizing them as a legitimate government. Right? We are not. And all of you who are watching should put a post on your Facebook page immediately. Immediately install government. Hashtag install government. Right? Let me show you how to do that. Put a little post on social media and show them we are not giving in. We are not going to recognize them. Right? We are not going to recognize them. I'm putting the hashtag in. You can copy and paste on your profiles, copy and paste on your pages, wherever, on Twitter, in PPP, install government. We will not recognize them. We will not. All right? And so the APNU AFC, or rather the AFC, the Alliance for Change, had a press conference today. And I believe Kemraj Ramjatan, the leader of the Alliance for Change, dealt with this matter condignly, with them trying to force us to recognize them as a government. I think he dealt with it sufficiently. I think he dealt with it very, very condignly, that we will not be bullied. We will not be bullied into recognizing anybody as anything. We will not. And so I want to play a portion of that for you. We will not be bullied, is what Kemraj basically said. We will not be bullied. We ain't being suckered into foolishness with Galen because they want to feel nice, right? Just because they want to feel nice. Here is what Kemraj said. Here is what he said, folks.
There is no doubt that since we have already become sworn parliamentarians, we are members as in the opposition. We have filed litigation in the court. That inherently means that the government of the day, installed or not, is the government of the day. We have a question mark over them because we feel that a humongous amount of votes in the East Coast had problems. 4,800 people who are not in the country voted, and that was because of shenanigans done by the PPP. Whatever it is, we do not have to go and, to the PPP arrogance and start bowing down and say, we respect you as the government of the day. By nature of the implication and that which we are by conduct doing, they are in government. So why do they not want to engage? What do we have to now go and say? That they were not installed? Well, we are not going to do that. And if that is what Irfan Ali and Jack Deo and those guys want, we are not going to do that, because we feel, and we have every right to so feel, that there were problems with that last election. The PPP side only want to talk about their narrative, but we have a narrative too, and we have evidence of it, because there was a recount, and the recount found so many things, none of which were considered when they were installed, although the agreement as for that arrangement that the CARICOM and so on brokered indicated that all of this must be considered. So we are not going to lessen our worth by doing any declarations that will, make them feel happy. We are in opposition. And once you know that you are the opposition, that you're going to expose, you're going to oppose, and you're going to even try to depose, as Churchill would say, we are going to do just that. So if they do not want us to engage, they want to provoke all kinds of civil strife, because it's always in the interest of the PPP to see action in the street, which they then, what you call video, and they will then go and show their supporters. And then because of certain arithmetics of this situation in Ghana, they are going to feel that that will make them happy. But just engage us. How many times we haven't met in parliament with the ministers? How many times we haven't questioned them? So this additional piece of wanting us to recognize them is a lot of trash talk on the part of Gail Teixeira. And we're not going to do that. They're an installed government. There is no doubt that since we have already become sworn parliamentarians.
So, folks, there you have it. There you have it. They are an installed government, and we are not going to do that. You all hear that? They are an installed government, and we are not going to recognize them. And we will continue to pressure them to govern this country for everybody. And we are certain the Americans are going to continue to up the pressure as well. Right? We are not going to do that. They are an installed government, and that is that. That is that. So they got to put it in the pipe and smoke it. Folks, we want as many persons to hear this message, what the Americans are doing to them, how they're pressuring them. So you got to share the live stream, folks. You got to share. Don't let's get complacent. Don't let's get complacent. You see what the Americans doing? The Americans fighting them. And we got to fight in our own way. And part of that fight is getting this message out. And so play your part as well. Retweet, share, subscribe. Invite a friend to view the program. Send the program to a friend on WhatsApp. Share, folks. We are not going to do that. That is what Kemraj says. No. Things are happening that way. And I'm happy about it. We are not going to do that. Very, very strong pushback. Gail? What Gail talking about? No. The things that are happening, sir. We are not going to do that. Right? Very, very strong. I love what Kemraj said there. And I see, based on the comments, that a lot of you are in agreement with me as well. He said, we are not going to do that. What Gail want? We were there and we saw all of these, irregularities, inconsistencies, anomalies at the national recount. And we must recognize y'all madness. Madness. So, folks, the Americans, starting with Miss Newland, Victoria Newland, the U.S. on the Secretary of State, then Congressman Albio Series, and then Congressman also Mr. Johnson, Mr. Johnson again, Hank Johnson, talking about issues of governance and sharing the wealth of this country irrespective of ethnicity. Folks, those are very, very strong things. Those are very, very strong things. You understand me? Very, very strong things. And we are going to continue to bring you the information to let you know what is happening. Because this is not the information they want to give you. You must know what they want you to know. And folks, we have to continue to push against them each and every time. And so we say, thank you to those Americans who are standing up on our behalf, right? Who are standing up on our behalf, who is keeping the PPP installed administration in check. And now Gail come out to say, everybody going to benefit from the wealth. Nonsense, y'all are lying. Y'all are lying. How many people still holding the pink slips in their hand or no slips at all and don't have any money? How many persons? How many persons? And talking about press conferences, Nigel Hughes had a press conference today. You all remember the Henry boys, Joel and Isaiah Henry? Didn't they promise? Didn't this installed administration promise justice for this family? Justice for this family? The same way Harris Singh family wants justice, the Henry family wants justice. Now the Henry, one of the family members, is now being accused of murdering Harris Singh. Well, as part of that press conference today, Nigel Hughes told us that the time when Harris Singh was allegedly murdered, this young man who they are accusing of or implicating in the murder of harassing. Let me get his name properly. I don't want to misquote his name. Right? They are trying to implicate four persons. One, Joel Gittins, Charles Scott, Gladstone Henry, and Philip Anderson. Nigel Hughes, who is representing Gladstone Henry, told us today that at the time Harry Singh was allegedly murdered, Gladstone was in the company of his family members. He was in the company of his family members, and several members of his family are willing to testify to that. And including in that, policemen were there the very morning, around the time when Harry Singh was allegedly murdered, and saw Gladstone Henry in the company of his family members. Right? But don't take it from me. Do not take it from me. Here is part of that press conference from just this morning.
Because on Wednesday the 9th, the post-mortem into the bodies of, or the post-mortem of the bodies of Joel and Isaiah Henry was conducted at the Le Repenitier Funeral Home crematorium. Now that post-mortem, you may recall, was attended by Mr. Gladstone Henry, the father of Isaiah. It was also attended by the relatives of Joel. I had the opportunity to attend that post-mortem. The post-mortem commenced somewhere around 9:30 in the morning. The post-mortem was conducted by Dr. Nigel Singh. And at that post-mortem, Mr. Gladstone Henry was carrying the post-mortem live. That's important because at the same time, at the home of Mr. Gladstone Henry and Miss Patricia Henry in the west coast of Berbice in village number 3, the family members of Isaiah Henry had gathered. Some had gathered there since the Sunday, the 6th, after the bodies were discovered, and they had come to provide support and condolences to the Henry family. So they had gathered there the morning of the 9th from about 8 o'clock in the morning. There are 2 houses on that property. The front house is occupied by Mr. Gladstone Henry and Miss Patricia Henry. And then there's a back house, and there's an area in between those houses where the families had gathered and they were cooking and literally preparing for the day because, of course, they weren't sure when the funeral was going to take place. In that family gathering, and he had been there since the night before, was Gladstone Henry, also known as Gladwin Henry. He had been there since the night before, and he was there for the entire morning of the 9th of September. All of these persons here, with the exception of Mr. Gladstone Henry, who was at the post-mortem, all of these family members were there. What is of particular importance and significance is during the course of the morning, and you will hear from these witnesses themselves, two police officers visited the home of Patricia Henry. They came there to speak to Patricia Henry. And at the time those 2 police officers came to the home of Patricia Henry, Gladstone Henry, same person, was right there. Now, Harish Singh was murdered between 9:30 and 10 o'clock, about 100 yards away from where he lived, on the way to the back there. So at the time Harish Singh was murdered, between 9:30 and 10 a.m. on the 9th, Wednesday, the 9th of September, exactly the same time, these persons here were gathered at Patricia Henry's home, including Gladstone Henry, known as Gladwin Henry, and Mr. Sarabo, Police Officer Sarabo, and Miss Patricia Henry will confirm this when she speaks, along with an officer who is described as an Indian officer, visited their home around the time that Harish Singh was murdered. Now, Gladwin Henry was right there at the time Officer Sarabo and the Indian officer visited the family home where all these family members had gathered to offer their condolences and provide emotional and other support. Because on Wednesday the 9th, the post-mortem into the bodies of, or the post-mortem of the bodies of Joel and Isaiah Henry was conducted at the Le Repenitier Funeral Home crematorium. Now, that post-mortem, you may recall, was attended by Mr. Gladstone Henry, the father of Isaiah. It was also attended by the relatives of Joel. I had the opportunity to attend that post-mortem. The post-mortem commenced somewhere around 9:30 in the morning. The post-mortem was conducted by Dr. Nigel Singh. And at that post-mortem, Mr. Gladstone Henry was carrying the post-mortem live. That's important because at the same time, at the home of Mr. Gladstone Henry and Miss Patricia Henry in the west coast of Berbice in village number 3, the family members of Isaiah Henry had gathered. Some had gathered there since the Sunday, the 6th, after the bodies were discovered, and they had come to provide support and condolences to the Henry family. So they had gathered there the morning of the 9th from about 8 o'clock in the morning. There are 2 houses on that property. The front house is occupied by Mr. Gladstone Henry and Miss Patricia Henry. And then there's a back house, and there's an area in between those houses where the families had gathered and they were cooking and literally preparing for the day because, of course, they weren't sure when the funeral was going to take place. In that family gathering, and he had been there since the night before, was Gladstone Henry, also known as Gladwin Henry. He had been there since the night before, and he was there for the entire morning of the 9th of September. All of these persons here, with the exception of Mr. Gladstone Henry, who was at the post-mortem, all of these family members were there. What is of particular importance and significance is during the course of the morning, and you will hear from these witnesses themselves, two police officers visited the home of Patricia Henry. They came there to speak to Patricia Henry. And at the time those 2 police officers came to the home of Patricia Henry, Gladstone Henry, same person, was right there. Now, Harish Singh was murdered between 9:30 and 10 o'clock, about 100 yards away from where he lived, on the way to the back there. So at the time Harish Singh was murdered, between 9:30 and 10 a.m. on the 9th, Wednesday, the 9th of September, exactly the same time, these persons here were gathered at Patricia Henry's home, including Gladstone Henry, known as Gladwin Henry, and Mr. Sarabo, Police Officer Sarabo, and Miss Patricia Henry will confirm this when she speaks, along with an officer who is described as an Indian officer, visited their home around the time that Harish Singh was murdered. Now, Gladwin Henry was right there at the time Officer Sarabo and the Indian officer visited the family home where all these family members had gathered to offer their condolences and provide emotional and other support. On Wednesday the 9th,
there we have it, folks. There we have it. So you see, if you've been following, Mr. Gladstone Henry couldn't have been in 2 places at the same time. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. So we are going to be following this story and bringing the latest to you guys. We're going to be continue to follow this story and bringing the very latest to you guys. Guys, let us share the live stream. I want this information to get out, because if we allow the PPP to get out their narrative, that's all people will believe. That is all people will believe. So here is Mr. Henry, second from the right, among the other persons who are currently implicated in the death of Mr. Singh, Mr. Harish Singh. And of course, we want justice for Harish Singh, but we want justice as well for Joel Henry and Isaiah Henry, who lost their lives in a very, very gruesome, brutal manner at Cotton Tree Back Dam. Folks, more signs of the times. More signs of the times for you. Right? And as we say, every day in this country, every day, every goddamn day is pocketory. Every day is pocketory. Right? Every day in this country, what it is purgatory. Class, are you there? Every day is purgatory. Now look what happened to this woman. It's a force in this country since the PPP come in. It's a force. Since the PPP come in. This woman's name is Tishwati Jaglal. Tishwati Jaglal, and she was chopped to death by her son. Folks, that ain't natural. For a son to chop his mother ain't natural. That's a force. That's the things. You might call them demons or spirit or whatever. It's the things. Since the PPP took office on August 2nd, is a darkness over this country. It's the things. Right? It's purgatory. So listen to what happened, unfortunately. According to the reports that we have, a West Berbice man has been arrested after allegedly fatally chopping his mother. This was last evening. Dead is Tishwati Jaglal, also known as Babu, 64, of number 4 village, right? Lot 4, number 3 village, West Coast Berbice, Tishwati. The suspect, Dionarine Duku, also known as Dinesh. He's 41. And he's a security guard and resided with his mother. That's the first problem. He's a big man going to live by himself. So Dionarine Duku, also known as Divish, chopped his mother to death. The suspected murder weapon, a cutlass, was discovered on a table at the back of the house. That is what Dionarine Duku did to his mother, Tishwati Jaglal. That isn't natural, folks. I don't care which part of the world, which rock you live under, which dense jungle you live in. That is not natural. That is natural. Since the PPP took reins of government, the second day of August, it's a darkness. It's a darkness has descended on everything in this country. It's a darkness. And so, unfortunately, Tishwati Jaglal lost her life. So unfortunately, that is not normal, right? And I don't even think incarceration is going to solve that. I don't think incarceration will solve that. It's purgatory. He needs some help from a higher power. I ain't talking about government or the state. He needs help from a higher power. So Tishwati Jaglal lost her life. And our thoughts and our prayers go out to her family. Our thoughts and our prayers go out to the family of Tishwati Jaglal. All right, they're normal. Every day, Guyanese, is purgatory in this country. Every day. So our thoughts and prayers go to her family, her friends, and loved one. Right? A good night to all except her son, Mr. Dionarine Duku, also known as Divish. Except him. Every day is purgatory. Folks, moving on. In some oil and gas news. And we want to focus more and more on oil and gas. We've realized we don't touch oil and gas. Well, today I started taking a special look at oil and gas. I started to take a special look at oil and gas. I was reading an article. Some things jump out at me. Folks, some things in this article jump out at me. Out at me. All right? So I read in this article here, Exxon installs upgraded gas compressor system on Liza Destiny, on the Liza Destiny. And I looking at the person who related this news to the media, I said, well, this girl look real thing. You understand me? I wish we had more of this photograph, but that's what all the media give us. Right? I said, this girl look real nice. Right? I said, Exxon bringing some real people in this country now. I started to look real keenly now. Right? Then I look and I said, it's Janelle. It's Janelle Passad. I said, wow, boy. Janelle looking like the good life. You understand me? Janelle looking like the good life. Right? Exxon learned something. Exxon learned if you got to sell drab, dreary news, you got to get a nice looking lady. Janelle looking like the good life, right? So this is what the article was about. They said, they announced yesterday that the upgrade and repairs discharge silencer for the flash gas compressor and the new Venturi were safely installed to the Liza Destiny vessel, with the first phase of testing successfully completed earlier this week. You hear I talk about drab news, you need a good face. You need a good face. So Exxon understand that. I say, look, Janelle, boy. Janelle, like she put on a little weight, she skin tone. Soon as you come out of government sector, and go in private sector, you start looking nice. Janelle was working, if I remember correctly, the last time with NCN, right? But Janelle beat out and left them. I didn't recognize Janelle. When I see the name, I said, this person, they look familiar. Hold the focus, uncle. Hold the focus. When I check, I see Janelle. I'm now more interested in reading this news piece here. So Exxon figure out if you got drab, dreary news to sell, right? If you got drab, dreary news to sell, get a nice looking girl. Get a nice looking girl. Janelle is now the public and government affairs advisor at Exxon Mobil. Y'all take that for your fastness. Take that. If y'all know Janelle, somebody tag her. Janelle looking real good life. I saw we had more of this photograph to show y'all. Like the big accident they had with the Venezuelan girl. I saw we had more of this photograph. So in other things that the story, not the photograph, and other things the story mentioned. The story said the EPA has approved the company's application for all of this compressor silencer business, right? They have approved, which will allow it to flare gas until July 24th, 2021. Well, if Janelle turn up, I'll approve a lot of things myself. If Janelle turn up, I will approve a lot of applications, right? They must approve Janelle turn up, right? Looking like the good life. Looking like the good life. Once you move out of government sector into private sector, you look good. Ali come into government slim and with black hair. You see Ali lately. You see Ali lately? Ali come into government slim and with black hair. Look Ali now. Look Ali now. So Janelle, right? Folks, my number is there, 627-6963. 627-6963. Somebody tag Janelle. Janelle enjoying the good life there at Exxon. And we wish Janelle well. Janelle, don't look back, girl. Be like Alcyon. Don't look back. Do not look back. Do not look back, Janelle. Keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. In other news, folks. In other news. Let me come up. Right, Tisha. All right. Let me look at Janelle one more time. Oh, my Lord. Janelle, look you, girl. Look, you enjoying the good life. Fraudulent government. So Ali come back. Folks, y'all know we were finding out about the whereabouts of Ali. Well, Ali turned up. Ali has returned. Up until today, since Sunday, today is Thursday. Ali was not to be seen, folks. But today, obviously the president posts, after the installed president, posts about 50 articles on the Facebook page up to today. Nothing was on the page. Ali was missing, right? Ali now has emerged out of hiding, folks. Ali come back. So here you start with a set of illegal people, another set of illegal people. He was at the traditional piling of drums and laying of flags during the Guyana Police Force Drumhead service to commemorate the force's 182nd anniversary at the police officers' mess annex at Ivleri. So Ali come out of hiding. He went straight to the police. Ali came out of hiding and Ali went straight to the police, folks. Straight to the police and confess his sins. Straight to the police. Right? So Ali has returned. We will continue to follow. Right? We will continue to follow. You see, I tell you, Ali was a slim man. Come out in the private sector, where he was lying low for the last 5 years, and he had jet black hair. Now look, Ali. Look, Ali. All right. Confusion powder, people. Confusion powder. Now, I share this story. I share this story of Sukai sharing flood relief in a place that has not been flooded, thanks be to God. But Sukai want give her family thing. Sukai want to give her family thing, so she's making up story. She's making up story, right? Well, I got the video. Folks, it's better than I left you with the picture. I got the video and audio of some of the stuff Sukai said, and you will be shocked that Sukai, Alien Mouth, graduating to Prado Mouth in this tenure. Alien Mouth Sukai, you will be shocked at the things Sukai said. Folks, I better share the live stream so other people could hear. Right? I shame that Sukai is a minister. Right? Is a minister. Let us set this thing up for you. I am so ashamed that Sukai is a minister. Right? It's not me, minister. I can tell you that one time. It's not me, minister. Let me tell you that. Let me ensure we have it set up right, guys. Oh my Lord, oh my Lord, oh my Lord. I was so ashamed. Listen to Sukai. Sukai got scholarship. Right? Folks, here's Sukai. Here's Sukai.
Minister of Amerindian Affairs, the Honorable Pauline Sukai, on Wednesday delivered 50 food hampers to those affected by recent flooding in Block 42, Amelia's Ward, Region 10.
Due to the prolonged rainfall and Block 42 self-help scheme, Region 10 has been affected with respect to their farms being affected. So our government has put together hampers as their first response to ensure that those affected have some, sustenance over the period. So today's exercise is to provide to the residents and households of Block 42 self-help scheme some food hampers.
Minister Sukai said that the Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali-led government will continue to support persons affected by the countrywide flooding.
It is a demonstration that the government has remained responsive to the concerns and the impact of the flooding. And because it is almost a national crisis, a national disaster, we will have to continue our effort to ensure that our people, first of all, is safe, that they have some food security, and that the government support, by extension, for the effects of the flood, that we will have to address that very shortly.
Meanwhile, Secretary of the Community Development Council in the area, Ms.
Folks,
Shirley
let me slow down. Let me slow down what Sukai said. Let me break it down. Let me unpack it. Let me unpack what Sukai said for you guys. Let me unpack. Because she went by fast, and when they're talking fast, right, it's skullduggery and scampishness. Right, so let me slow down, folks, what a government minister said there, and I'll play it back for you, and you'll have a better appreciation of it. Let me slow down what Sukai said. Sukai said the government remains responsive to the concerns and impact of the flood. Right? Impact of the flood is nice, but concerns of the flood is not a person. How the flood got concerns? In English language, you call it personification. You put in human qualities to an inanimate object. So, Pauline think the flood got concerns, not the government. This is what she said. The government remained responsive to the concerns and impact of the flood. I think Pauline the drunk. I think Pauline was drunk, folks. It got better because you may have missed it. You may have missed it. Pauline said it is almost a national crisis and a national disaster. So like wherever Irfan went hiding, Pauline went there too. On the 10th day of June, Irfan Ali declared the flood a national disaster. And that is why you have the people from overseas assessing the flood damage and making recommendation, right? But Pauline said it is almost a flood. You see, Pauline's mouth was running fast. You might have missed some things. You know them islanders go fast? Pauline's mouth was running fast, right? Pauline mouth was running fast. Pauline said it is almost a national disaster. It is almost. And then she went on to say, we must make sure our people, first of all, is safe. People is safe. Pauline said we must make sure our people is safe. Pauline's subject and verb and agreeing. There is no concord. There is no coherence between Pauline's subject and verb, right? So the flood got concerns, right? It is almost a national crisis and a national disaster. Almost. We ain't there yet. All of them cattle you see in Region 6 and you see all the flooding in every region of this country, especially Region 10, Kokwani, and those places, houses covered by water, right? Pauline says almost a national disaster. It is almost, folks, I better share this live stream, let people see the kind of clowns we got in this government. Listen to Pauline again, folks. Listen carefully now. She said almost a national disaster. Listen to Pauline.
Farms being affected. So our government has put together hampers as their first response to ensure that those affected have some, sustenance over the period. So today's exercise is to provide to the residents and households of Block 42 Self-Help Scheme some food hampers.
Minister Sukai said that the Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali-led government will continue to support persons affected by the countrywide flooding.
It is a demonstration that the government has remained responsive to the concerns and impact of the flooding. And because it is almost a national crisis, a national disaster, we will have to continue our effort to ensure that our people, first of all, is safe, that they have some food security, and that the government support, by extension, for the effects of the flood, that we will have to address that very shortly.
Meanwhile, Secretary of the Community Development Council in the area, Ms. Charlene Dion,
folks, I think I want back me alien. I don't know about y'all. But I think I want back me alien. Right? I want back me alien. I should get him better than that for my alien. I want back me alien, people. Pauline said the flood got concerns. It is almost a national crisis and a national. It is almost. Right? I don't know if Pauline so far in the hinterland or Black 42 in Amelia's ward where the bishop is going, where probably Ali went hiding. I don't know if it is so far. There's getting news like a month or 2 months late. But Pauline says almost a national disaster. And while it is almost a national disaster for Pauline, right? Sam Hines is almost the ambassador to the UN. He's almost the ambassador, whatever ambassador role he gets, into the UN or to New York or to Washington. He's almost. I have never seen a man that's long bubbling like Sam Hines. So Sam Hines sent a picture today to show us that he's almost at work. He is almost at work, right? And you would think an ambassador would got the sense, right? But we know it's damn blinds to see that he is properly pictured representing his country. None of these flags are the Guyanese flags, are the Guyanese flag that he's posing up next to. I don't know if Sam Hines don't know which country representing or what, but Sam Hines just go and stand up and say, yeah, flag. I don't know if it's Pauline take out this picture or what, but Sam Hines just a flash. Like he forget which country. Like Sam Hines forget which country he from. So the headline for the news article read, Sam Hines to formally commence new assignment in Washington, D.C. soon. Soon. I don't know if Sam Hines gone as a lobby to run behind Series and Albio Series, the U.S. Congressman, or Mr. Hank Johnson, Congressman, or the U.S. and the Secretary of State, Ms. Victoria Nuland, or what? What is his role? But the man stickling for a long time. Even Sharon Dawson stickles a lot, right? I don't even know if the man in Washington. So folks who are afraid of Washington, tell me if this photograph is Washington or is Peru or is Colombia, because the man might be in the wrong country altogether. The man might be in Venezuela for all I know, right? None of these is the Guyanese flag. Oh, if you can't stop next to the Guyanese flag, don't stop next to no flag as an ambassador. It's madness, right? Folks, if it's not madness, what else is it? Y'all tell me, if this is not madness, people, what else is it? Some of y'all know. I know some of y'all know. If it is not madness, folks, what is it? Huh? Y'all tell me. It's purgatory. That is what it is. It's purgatory. Right? The man just stickling. Here meeting we going. Ian taking up this ambassadorship. Stickling all the time. Right? I don't know. You know, sometimes when people getting with a heavy heart, reluctantly, right? You just get a hard time with it. That's Sam Hines and this post in a is either the US authorities are accepting it or something. But the man just stickling, like the man went sightseeing, he see couple flag poles, he just stand up. I don't know. If y'all know Washington, and this is Washington, let us know. If it's Venezuela, if it's Peru, if it's Colombia, if it's Mexico, let us know. Right? And y'all point out the Guyanese flag to Sam Hines. Because at least as an ambassador, you can stand up next to your own flag. Or unless he is so fed up with the PPP, like the Americans, he just chose your own flag. Your own flag. Right? Your own flag. Well, maybe Sam Hines run away. Maybe Sam Hines will run away like Irfan. But we hope, unlike Irfan, Sam Hines don't come back. Sam Hines, you just stay. Right? You just stay. Like how we want Janelle stay in the private sector. Stay and look nice in X1 girl. Stay and look nice. Right? Sam Hines, you just stay where you're there. Folks, continue to social distance, sanitize, wear your mask. Wear your mask. Social distance, sanitize, wear your mask, and practice all the other COVID-19 guidelines that are there for your health and your safety. None of y'all don't call tonight. Y'all make I talk for you whole hour. None of y'all don't call. I put up the number several times, but y'all ain't taking crank. Y'all say, y'all, I ain't stepping in the ring with Duncan tonight. Folks, I love you. We respect you. Thanks for joining this evening. Stay safe. See you tomorrow evening. Flashback Friday, folks. And those of you who are coming to watch later on this program, share the damn live stream. We got to get this message out to the rest of the world. Folks, thanks for joining. Do stay safe. Stay safe. Janelle, 627-6963. I gone.